seem to know what we're doing and where we're going now, sort of.
What if you could explore a world across an ocean full of culture?
From here, it's all uphill.
Right.
Stair step for 2001.
A place where the mountains are high.
And I am beat. Damn it. I am happy.
Woo! All the making great epic cocktail.
In spring 2009, our team of 3 explored 23,390 foot Baruntse in Nepal. This is our story from the jungle to the heights of the Himalayas.
Had one of our tent poles snap.
We are still stuck here in the Good Times Clubhouse at 21,500 feet. This is the best view we've had in a while.
This is Ski the Himalayas, Baruntse 2009.
Yeah, show up and go. This is going to be one of my favorite episodes, John, because I get super excited. Folks, I'm Ben Clark. Joining me today is Jon Miller. Jon Miller is my climbing partner. He's the bearded man, our liaison to Pakistan, coming up behind us. And in front of you is Josh Butson in the blue jacket. John, what is this?
Well, at this point, we have reached the French base camp of Baruntse. It is kind of the standard base camp to go up the southeast ridge, the standard route, but we are not going that direction. So we are going to now we're doing some reconnaissance. And you can see what we're in. This is just a blasted moonscape. This is the moraine. There is an ice glacier underneath all those boulders. It's still moving. And we are trying to figure out, okay, we now have found Baruntse. We are here. Now, how the heck do we get to our route?
And what is our route? Not even...
Yeah, exactly. Like we have this picture from Himalayan Alpine style.
A book, an old book. And then here's
cairn.
Josh. He's building a cairn because it's just important as looking for where you're going to go as it is to know where you've already gone on your way back. So he's putting these little stacked rock cairns around because we have to figure out how to get across this gigantic moraine with no trail and lots of loose rock to do what Jon Miller here is talking about, which is to identify Baruntse. And we have to hike quite a bit around it in order to actually find a route and a suitable way to access that route.
Shewang, one of our cook staffs, amazing dude. But yeah, and at this point, we're not sure how we're going to get onto this mountain. Up that little valley that you can kind of see off to the right is the advanced base camp for Makalu. So we're going to head kind of that direction. And we're hoping that's going to give us a better view up valley and of Baruntse so we can figure out where we're going.
But gnarly, I mean, loose rock there. You can see John and Shewang kind of pushing some rocks around with their feet. Big peaks already around you, and the nice thing about walking through something like this is at least the walls of the valley, the sides of it, this thing running in the middle, you're a little bit shielded from these rocks falling down from high altitude and rolling down.
Yeah, because this is a constantly changing landscape. I mean, there's rocks falling all the time, there's ice falling all the time. I mean, it is never the same.
And this guy's local. This is Dorji. A good man.
Yeah.
So here's a peek at the upper portion of the route that we were going to climb on Baruntse. Baruntse is 390 feet, and we were there to attempt a new climb, and then opting for a ski descent. And these are some of our first views of actually seeing Baruntse after now 13 days worth of hiking. I mean, getting off an airplane and boom, there you are, humidity, jungle. Go back to the first episode to see more of that and carry on forward up to 7. But man, I tell you what, it wasn't much easier than this right here.
No,
all the way in, it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, and this
look at our tent. This is a good display of scale. Big mountains,
huge mountains, and we don't. At this point, we're still not sure if we can even climb this mountain, and we think we can. We think we know where we're going, but we're not sure yet. We're still sussing out the route, sussing out the approach, doing a little acclimatization, and we're up at 17,000 feet.
Yeah, hiking through really unstable ground, just trying to poke around. That's kind of the key. Is it's like, we're not big time, super bad, awesome, righteous climbers. We're just guys that like to go and explore, and we top out when we can, when it's safe, and the best way to figure out how to summit something is to get really familiar with it. And the only way to get familiar with this area is to get out and hike, and you see gigantic glacial lakes like what you just saw down below, and then these toothy, craggy, granite, ice-covered peaks, and then, when the mountain is extremely high like Baruntse here, coming into view at 23,390 feet, then, you have these extremely long and exciting lines that are multi-day climbs, and the mountains at that point can be both unforgiving and extremely rewarding.
We're looking at the east face of Baruntse here.
You're looking at the southeast ridge now, which is what we had intended to ski down after going up our route that we were ascending, and we didn't even get to see the route we were ascending. You won't see that until we're on it. We didn't even get to see it till then. We had to take a huge leap of faith that we would cross a ridgeline and something would be there, but looking around valley, it's quite imposing, so we were really pleased to find something that had good rock, good enough rock, and then something that had good enough ice.
I'm up here around 18,000 feet, and looking across here at Baruntse at the east face, looks pretty big, and trying to find the access to get to our route. Looks like there's a big ice fall, and that could complicate things. Never really know. We're gonna have to go on a recon and kind of figure things out. We're gonna have to poke around the high mountains for quite a while, probably until we really figure this out. But yeah, it looks like the route's definitely less steep than we thought, and we'll definitely go if we can get over to it. I think we can. I think we're going to definitely give it a good shot. And yeah, 13 days. 10 days of hiking. Was going to take a rest day yesterday. Felt like running a little bit around 18,000 feet. And today I'm starting to finally hit that wall.
Yeah, 13 consecutive days of moving, topping it off with a run at 18,000 feet. I was too excited for my own good, and I just wanted to look around and make sure we had an idea of where we're going to climb. We'd spent so long walking.
Definitely tired. But spirits are up. We're going to summit. We got this mountain. It's up there. It looks good. We're going to find a way. And if nothing else, hell,
that's
we'll
right.
Southeast Ridge.
We'll show up to do something, yeah.
Because it looks pretty burly as is, and that's what we came for, an adventure and some ice climbing and some rock climbing maybe. It doesn't look like we're going to get any real steep rock climbing, so probably some ice climbing in the Southeast Ridge will still do that to us, I believe. So
challenging mountain, but nonetheless, it's like
not afraid
we brought our skis and we showed up ready to climb.
Yeah, we were ready for anything the mountain could throw at us.
Unfortunately, this thing
we were not ready for.
It was like this glacier, this area down here was going to take us probably another 2 days of hiking to get to in order to find access to that northeast face. And so this was kind of the deciding factor in that last stand-up, you can see, as to why I'm like, well, I think that with Southeast Ridge we know we can do, because when you look at it right here, it's kind of in the middle of your screen. The only thing, now it's in the middle and I'm pulling in on it, or pushing in on it, that's skiable. And yeah, there's some steep spots for rappels and stuff like that. I mean, this is not like giant slalom ski racing, but that's skiable. You can get down it, and we thought we could get down that in a much more pleasurable fashion than most.
Absolutely. And it's just kind of this is part of the whole climbing game. It's just trying to look at it and see what makes sense. And I was feeling a little altitude sick that day. It was my first time at these altitudes, and so I was kind of taking it easy. Ben here has been to altitude many times before this, and was feeling pretty good. And he was literally running around getting all this footage, some bunch of pictures that he could share with Josh and I to kind of be like, hey, what's going on?
Myself at about
got a salt line on my left shoulder.
I was really tired and just kept moving. Wanted to really check this out. Looks like the line we're wanting to do on the northeast face is good, but the access is bad. But there's good news. The ice fall that comes off the east face looks very navigable this year.
When I say I've heard it's never navigable, I mean the other party that showed up there a long time ago had trouble with it.
Doable, very doable. So we will probably be camping right underneath the east face, set up an advanced base camp, shuttle some gear up there, and have ourselves a good time. Yeehaw! Yeah, we're probably going to climb a couple of 6,000 meter peaks in front of it. Maybe we'll recon up and into the face and wand our way out. So if we need to descend into stormy camp, it makes our traverse a lot shorter and our time a lot better spent.
But there's one thing I'm not thinking of here that I should have been thinking of here at 18,000 feet.
To the
Well,
summit
that's-
via
That's
ski,
weather.
but
Yeah.
and not having control over it.
ski down the South Beach
Those 6,000 meter peak pre-acclimatization climbs didn't happen. We would go up and then it would end up being pretty nasty and stormy, and so when we finally did get a good window, we did what I think most alpinists would do, is we just went ahead and went for it. And here is the long, I mean, if we were to climb this is what, it's climbable, it's skiable, all that. You go up to there and then you tail off to the right and up to the summit, and,
Well,
I'm amped here.
walking at Baruntse back here behind me, about 18,100 feet. I can't tell you how incredibly just woo, just how excited I am right now, knowing that we have found a way. And I think, I don't care how beat to hell. I've been running all over this country for the last 12, 13 days, and I'm beat, but I am psyched. Like, that thing is gonna go. We have found a way to ski this here mountain. We're gonna make it happen, and it's gonna go down just a lot safer, a lot smoother, a lot quicker, and a lot
And that's all ended up still being statements I would agree with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just show up. Just show up and go. Go and do it. Do not be afraid. Just show up, go and do it.
Yep. Ben, you're not
I am
excited.
beat, but damn it, I am happy.
That was a big day for us because
We knew.
we knew, and
You
a lot of questions were answered right there.
and people always ask, well, how much does a trip like this cost, and how much stuff are you taking? Well, let's just say, for me to be that happy, there were thousands of dollars that went into that smile, because we have no idea till we get there, and to spend thousands of dollars of money to go and not have any idea is insane. But you know what? You find that out, you will know joy. And here we are. This is me in that red jacket. Josh over there on the right in that kind of burnt orange red jacket, pulling out a backpack that's an Osprey Variant 57, coming out of a Mountain Hardware duffel bag. This is gear time. Let's talk gear,
yeah.
John. If you've been watching this for a long time and you're a gearhead, you probably wondered, okay, cool, so these guys have like shorts and some hiking boots and they're going to go climb a big mountain. That's not completely true. We had more than that, didn't we?
This is the first time we've actually been able to break into our gear bags, and we're really going in for it. And we're doing kind of the final check, because at this point we've got to get to a new camp. So we're pulling out our gear. These are our Dynafit skis, Dynafit bindings. It's an AT or randonnée setup, super lightweight, super stable. Really, it's the way to go in the big mountains.
It is.
And that takes a lot for me to say. I'm a telemark skier, which is a free heel, and to say that that's the way to go that's a big statement for me.
And I'm an alpiner. I don't see any point in freeing my heel and slowing my friends down.
And those are our ropes. We had a couple of 8.8 millimeter ropes, I believe.
Yeah, they were
Sterling
ropes. We had a 70 meter and a 75 meter. Here's
Yep.
John adjusting his crampons.
Yep.
I personally took Petzl G10s. Those were really, or M10s, sorry. They were really good for steep mixed climbing, for granite rock, and then of course ice.
Yep.
Behind me is a Garmont Radium ski boot. That's right, folks. There's my crampons, the M10s coming out. We climb in ski boots, which I think is hard for people maybe to understand. Like, if maybe you live in the Midwest, or maybe you live up in the Northeast and you're an avid skier, well, you know what, if you've ever thought of exploring the high mountains, you actually could take your ski boots and still do all this crazy stuff in them. Or at least I know 3 people that do.
And at this point, we're surrounded by several hundred pounds, the lightest climbing gear known to man. And because that's the game, is we've got to carry all this stuff up the mountain. So everything has to have more than one use. Everything has to be as light as possible, but at the same time as durable as possible, because we can't afford to have equipment failures up high.
Nope. And so you can see some food right
yeah.
there, some Cliff Bar products, some helmets. We always wear a helmet. We take a jet boil stove that weighs under a pound. Each one of us had a stove, and we had gas canisters. And the ski bag is going to come on a separate trip to our next camp. We're now breaking down this camp, which was the French base camp. Now that we've reconned, we know what the mountain looks like and where it is. We're now going to take this camp, move it closer to Mount Everest and Lhotse that you're looking at right there in Down Valley, and try and set up a camp. And man, we were there. a long time. We had pared it down to a tent half the size of this blue tent, which was the cook tent, where Gilu and Dorji and all the other fine guys that were on the cook staff slept and cooked, and then we had 2 little tents set up.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, we don't have porters anymore. The porters have all gone home, and so now it's just we have our cook staff who are now going way above and beyond their normal job. There's Malin. She's packing up to head out. She's gone with us on the trek, kept me company on the way in. But she's going to be heading home.
Another gigantic view of 27,700 foot Makalu.
Yeah. And now, because we're gonna head up, set up our new camp, and we're gonna put that reconnaissance to good use. And we're excited about it. But at this point, we're gonna start carrying a bunch of the weight because those guys can't do it on their own.
No, and you see all these bags. A lot of this is just getting left behind. When we were climbing the mountains, these high altitude mountains with skis and whatnot, it's like you gotta pare down to 50 pounds tops. Like you can't move to effectively extreme altitude on steep terrain with something that weighs more than 50 pounds. Yeah. And the awkwardness of the skis really isn't that big a deal. So here we are once again. We're now going a completely different way than we had when we were over there reconning, because now we've got to split the heart of that moraine in half in order to get to our base camp.
Yeah, we've seen it from afar, and now we're kind of basically building a trail through here. We're setting up cairns so we can find our way back and forth. Our cook staff are going to be going back and forth this way a bunch. We're going to hopefully be heading out this direction when we're successfully off the mountain. But, I mean, there's no trail. There's no signs. We've got to build it. We've got to find it. We had a couple stops and starts. And
yep. It's adventure.
It's adventure. It's absolutely an adventure.
So go back, folks. If this is your first episode, go back to episode 1 and track us all the way in. I think this is now day 14 or 15 that we're finally going to approach our base camp. That's Josh Butson you're looking at in front of you. A couple of our esteemed staff in the background. Jon Miller, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Ben.
Always a pleasure to have you. I'm Ben Clark, and there will be more Ski to Himalayas to come next week. Enjoy it.